welcome back to another video. Welcome to a video. As this is my first one about this. This video is on the Ulster plantations. The Ulster plantations are normally and can often be grouped with the event of the Highland clearances because they are both part of an English plan to eradicate the Gaelic way of life. Now, the way of life existed in both Ireland and Scotland, so that's why sometimes we view these events as comparative. In both cases, it was the British essentially using force and power to eradicate traditions, cultures, and crush the spirit of the Gaelic way of life living in Ireland and in Scotland. So this video is going to focus on what happened in Ireland. So what happened in our Ulster plantations? Well, that's quite a bit of history to the colonization of Ireland and plantation to Ireland. Unable to get to Henry VIII started the idea of colonization as he was first part to declare himself the King of Ireland. As you can see by this map, Ireland was really divided at this point. The MacDonalds, the O'Neills, the O'Donnells, O'Connors, the O'Briens, the Mayo, the earldoms of Desmond, Ormond, earldom of Ulster, and more. This little place here is where he was in charge of, called the Pale. Now, the first plantations were created under Mary I, which were here and here, as you can see on this little map here. Ireland was, just waiting. If you want to, you could pause and watch this map for a second. So, she took land from chiefs called Laois and Offal. And she also confiscated Irish-owned land and surrendered against the colonization by England, what the Irish did. She had a policy of surrender and regret, which was where she confiscated land from lords and would only give the land back if you swore your loyalty to the crown. She also encouraged colonization by the English. She set over English lords to take over land, and she also enacted material law at the time, which meant that you could be executed for crimes without trial, without jury. Despite that, the plantations failed. They were attacked routinely by the Irish, and they were expensive, and they didn't work. Elizabeth succeeded Mary also tried plantations. She tried to do privately funded ones, so she encouraged noblemen to go over and set up their own plantations at their own cost. She focused heavily on the areas of Ulster and Munster in the top and bottom bit of Ireland, as you can see here, Ulster and Munster. But Elizabeth's failed as well because they were unsustainable and they were again attacked by Irish. It was incredibly difficult to keep control of these places, and it did lead to a war we called the 9 Years' War, which was led by Hugh O'Neill. It cost the crown about 2 million and nearly bankrupted Elizabeth I. So what did James I do? The first thing he did was write a treaty called the Treaty of Melfin. Because after Elizabeth died, that left James I a debt of about 400,000. So after he did write a good treaty, the O'Neills surrendered on good terms. However, following the treaty, the English invaded an area called West Breffna. and ended up having a 12 death siege. Now there were 3,000 English men, an incredibly powerful force, meaning James had the upper hand in the treaty. Therefore, he gave the Irish an ultimatum. What James first wanted to do was he hoped to end the violence, and also he would give full pardons, return of the states, he would abandon their titles and private arms, but they would have to swear loyalty to the crown. Mistrust remained, and in 1607, the Flight of the Earls happened. A number of earls went over to Catholic Spain to unite with them and organize against England. When this happened, James took an opportunity to seize their abandoned land. And that led to the plantation of Ulster. As you can see, all of these red bits is what he took. He took such places as he took about 500,000 acres of arable land, and the counties were in that was Armagh, Cavan, Fermanagh, Tyrone, Donegal, and Derry, also known as Londonderry. Now the problem was that the plantations and the English were very different in many different areas than the people living there, and that caused not only resentment and frustration but a clash of culture. People living at the time in Ulster were Irish, Catholic, and Gaelic, but the colonists, aka the people colonizing England, were Scottish English, they were Protestant, and they were Anglicised. So the goal of they wanted to do was sever the ties of the Gaelic Irish and Gaelic Scottish, Anglise Ireland, and weaken their opposition. And thank you very much for watching this video, as this has taken me multiple hours. Thank you very much, and maybe I'll record another one. Goodbye.